Hi everyone, Paul Akers, host of the American Innovator. You know, the innovative spirit is alive and well, and everywhere I travel around the world, I bring back ideas and creativity to share with my audience to continuously improve and change the way we live. Welcome to the American Innovator.
So after spending a week with Ashley, Leanne and I spent 2 days in London. Now, for economic reasons, we decided to stay out at Heathrow Airport. It's a little less expensive than staying right in London proper. The cool thing is we took the tube in every day. That's how Londoners get around. It takes about an hour to get in, and we left after 9 o'clock. And by doing that, we saved a little money and we beat the crowds. We always stopped at Piccadilly Circus, which is a major intersection in London proper. From there, we caught a double-decker bus, and we just traveled all over the city for about 2 or 3 hours just to get orientated. We went to Trafalgar Square, which is fantastic. We went over to the museum. We went by Big Ben. We went by the London Eye, which is that incredible cantilevered Ferris wheel. And the second day, we went down to the London Tower and the Tower Bridge. This was really amazing. This is one of the #1 attractions in London, and I understand why. For about 500 years, the English royalty lived in the London Tower.
So this is everything you would imagine, a real castle with knights and lords and kings, and it's perfectly preserved.
This is over 700 years old. It weighs 1.5 tons, but it's still in full working order. And this street we're actually standing on was once known as Mint Street. All these houses along Mint Street used to contain the Royal Mint. This is where all the coins were made, and all the bullion was safely stored. But the mint left here around about 1820. So he takes another swig of gin, he picks up the axe and brings it down. Again, and then again. And after the 7th blow, he still had not severed the head from the body. This time he drops the axe, but he drops to his knees. He takes another swig of gin. He grabs the young duke by the hair. There's a scream from the crowd as he produces a butcher's knife and proceeds to cut through the man's skin, sinew and bone, for the head eventually came off. He holds it aloft and he says, behold the head of a traitor, so die all traitors. Long live the king! Long live the king! Yeah, I caught a couple of you out there. Now, strange to say, head and body was later stitched back together prior to its burial some 24 hours later. And I'll tell you why, and it's quite a simple fact really. Remember, James Scott, the Duke of Monmouth, is a royal. And as a royal, he's entitled to a portrait.
So we had a fantastic tour, and this is the actual main castle right there. And for the past 500 years, the ravens have been a part of this property, and they can be a little cocky. And when I put the camera up to him, he backed at it. And then on to see the royal jewels. Of course, I couldn't take any pictures, but they were unbelievable. And then the armor of all the kings, they had it all on display, and it was one of the best I'd ever seen. And this is King Henry VIII's armor, and he's got a royal jockstrap. Now, I thought this helmet was definitely the most ingenious. At least this guy has the wherewithal to know he needs to see in order to win. Now, this is the top floor of the castle, and this is actually their living quarters. Go imagine all those hundreds of years, all the different kings lived right here. And this was their bathroom.
Revolutionised again a couple of years later by none other than a man by the name of Sir Thomas Crapper. Now, if anyone would like to have a look inside the royal toilet, many famous royal bottoms have sat in that seat, so we're going to have a quick look.
Now, this brings new meaning to the word throne. Okay? This is where 500 years of kings did their business. And this is their private cathedral, and the weapons that had all been given to them by gifts. They were absolutely spectacular. The engraving, the detail, the jewels, the gems, everything the kings had were at the highest level. This is what I call a gun collection. Hey, and if you're a king, you might as well have a golden machine gun. Why not? Engraved with a little ivory, a few other little trinkets. And all the military's arms were stored in the basement. This is where they kept all the weapons of the people that protected the kings, including cannons, spears, and swords. It was really fabulous how well organized everything was. And of course, if you're not in good favor with the king, you'll get your head cut off. And this is the official axe and the block that you put your head and your chest against just before they whack your head off. And the architecture in London is fantastic, and of course the beers are awesome as well, and we took many opportunities to grab a local beer.
And then the Tower Bridge, one of the most famous bridges in the world, right here. We actually went up inside of it, went down into the mechanical room. It was just fascinating how they built it and how this bridge works. It opens up so the ships can pass through.
The inner workings of the bridge are fascinating and really a mechanical wonder given the time when they built it. And the skyline again of London is over the top. We went onto the bridge, looked down through the crack where it actually opens up and panned around. And just as we did that, a boat was passing underneath and we got really cool footage. And there she goes. Now, of course, in London, they got a little smarter now. They just make the boats low enough to pass underneath all the bridges, so they don't even have to open it that often. But they still open it about 80 times a year.
We walked along the shoreline. We saw beautiful architecture everywhere we went. And we just had a great time. You know, London is a town, frankly, that you can walk around very easily. And we basically walked for about 14 hours a day. We were everywhere all over this town.
And as you can see, the people in London, they like to walk as well. And they are everywhere, catching subways.
And of course, we learned to take the tube and we're successful riding around on that as well. But London is an amazing city. As Benjamin Franklin said, if you get bored with London, you're bored with life. It really is an awesome place to go, and we're definitely going to go back.
So as for us, it's time to go home and leave this amazing, innovative culture of Great Britain. We'll see you next week on The American Innovator.
Remember, life's an adventure. Be a part of the solution. Go out, learn, improve, change, think outside the box. We can change the way the world thinks. Be an innovator. I really got to stop getting myself in these situations. That's a leopard, and that's an elephant. Yes, and this is a cheetah.
Like, oh, I saw
Here,
that.
kitty, kitty, kitty,
Oh,
kitty, kitty.
cute. He wants to play.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You got it.